Right, folks, little walk around now before bedtime. Yes, indeed. Went to the gym, did a few bits, did side shoulder this time. A little bit biceps as well, 22.5k I've done tonight as well. Aye. Done 3 sets of that tonight, so that's not too bad as well. Aye. Not too bad. Well, I'll be going there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I might take Wednesday off, not sure. Time will tell. Yeah. Well, I was saying actually I need to seek God today, tomorrow and Wednesday before Thursday, because on Thursday as well, because Thursday night I said I'm going to pray for that Gareth and his epilepsy. Yeah, we're going to aim to get that sorted out on Thursday. I named it earlier, but yeah, the problem is it was a case where there's only one person that I prayed with for somebody, and that's Kylie, and that was never going to happen. I was hoping that she would be able to come with me and pray for him, but yeah, unfortunately that's not going to happen, so therefore it's either me or it's no one. But to be honest, yeah, the great Smith Wigglesworth often prayed for people on his own, so yeah, in the end it is what it is. You know, as I say, I've got the same authority and I've got the same everything that the Lord had. He prayed for people on his own, didn't he? He didn't have a person of equal faith stand with him when he prayed, so therefore that's cool. Yeah, just get on with it basically. You know, spend the next couple of days seeking God on it, and you know, seeking confirmation that God's going to do it, and then just go for it and just recognise it for what it is. It's epilepsy, and just, you know, deal with that as God tells me to deal with it basically. Yes. That's the thing, isn't it, really? Yeah. Just rely on God to lead me and guide me. I mean, it might be done before then. If God wants it done tomorrow, it'll be done tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah. Well, the main subject for tonight is who's going to be the main character in your movie, basically. So if your life was a movie, would you want to be the main character? A lot of people want to be the main character of their life, don't they? A lot of people, you know, want everyone else to play sort of little roles while they are the big cheese. What do you want for your life? What do you want to see as the final few minutes of that movie? What do you want to see there? Just before the end title comes in. Your choice. Really is. It is your choice as to what you're going to see at that point in time, because you get to make decisions in your life. Now, if you want to be an astronaut and you have no ability for that at all, and God doesn't will that for you, then you won't be an astronaut, so therefore no point looking at that. You've got to be guided by God, really. So try being guided by God. When you try and look at your picture, what do you want to see? With being guided by God, what do you want to see? I know in my life, the most important characters, you've got God first, and you've got wifey, who's second. Then, no idea. Who's going to be third? Possibly me. At the moment, me. But whether that changes to someone else, I don't know. No idea. There may be other characters that are going to come into my life that may be incredibly prominent that I just don't know yet. And so, we'll see what happens when that happens, I guess, yeah. Yeah. That's the point. In the end, you know, you have one life. There's no good trying to plan for, okay, I'll just let this life go and I'll plan for the next one or the next one or the next one. You only have the one. It's not like making a movie. It's not like you've got a 5-movie deal. This is one. One. That's all you get is one. You don't get a do-over. You don't get to make more if this one doesn't work out. You don't get to blame distributors or anything like that. This is your life. I mean, the first thing that I would advise anyone to recognise is have a look back at your life, have a look at how you run it when you've run it. Have you done a good job? Yeah. I mean, most people would recognise that no, they haven't, so therefore they need help. Where are you going to get help from? I mean, look, I would certainly say, even as a son of God, that if people want to try getting help from other ways first, then go for it. Yeah. If you've got a load of options as to where you could get help from, then tick those off. You try them, doesn't work. Okay, you tried that one, doesn't work. Tried that one, doesn't work. If in the end the only option left is God, then try God. Yeah. 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 Well, it's like, for example, talking about this, the church I was going to. You know, if they want to stay as a church, then they're a group of people, so they are a body. They are a church body right now. If they want to stay as a church body as they are, then of course this meeting that's coming up is incredibly important, because you know it looks as if God has plans, and for them to stay as they are, they've got to make some big decisions. They've got to make some big changes. Otherwise, they're not going to stay as they are. Yeah. Because the problem is, it's like, okay, you can agree to make the changes, right? Or you can try and stay as you are. If you try and stay as you are, well then, big bad God is going to come in, and he's not going to be quite as gentle as you could be if you were doing it yourself. If you decide to do it yourself, you give yourself a time period over which you're going to do it. God's not going to do that. He's going to come in and say, right, that's it. The decision was, you're going to be out of power, so you're out. Go. Simple. Yeah. Well, they might think that I was bad on Thursday. The person that God sends in there to deal with it could be a damn sight worse. Yeah. Could be, yeah. Yeah. That is certainly within the realm of possibility, isn't it? That God will put someone in there to sort that church out. It's going to be a damn sight thinking worse. Yeah. The problem is at the moment is that church is part of a group of churches. And who's the overseer for those churches? The pastor of that church. So this is why that church has a huge problem. Because if that pastor is a problem, there's no one really to come in. There's no person above him that you can really go to get that sorted out. Now, really, the overseer of those churches should not be a pastor of one of those churches. Not in any way, shape or form. Because now, it's like in a business. You have a group of businesses, but the overseer of those businesses is in charge of one of the businesses. Therefore, that person is never going to be sacked from that business. Can't be sacked. Because the person that would do the removing of the pastor is the pastor. Yeah. Yeah. So, in the end, there's either going to be some very, very difficult decisions made where the people rise up against the pastor in a massive way. You know, God's going to do it that way, or they're not going to do that, and Thursday is going to go, and nothing really is going to change, and so God is going to take his presence completely away from that church, and he's going to actively try to destroy it. You know, he's going to do what he did with that fig tree. Because at the moment, that pastor as things stand, as he has been doing things, is producing bad fruit. That's not good fruit in any way, shape or form. So the question is, what does he want to see at the end of his life? Just before the titles come. What does that church want to see, that body, before the end of this church's life? Do they want it to be Thursday? Or do they want it to be 20, 30, 40, 50 years' time? Those are choices that they have to make. Those are choices that they're going to make in a few days. I mean, all I'm going to do is just pray that God will lead and guide them. Pray that God will lead and guide the people to, and that his will be done. Simple. If he wants that church to be saved, if he wants that church to be, taking a new direction, then it will do exactly that. If he wants to kill that church, then he will do exactly that. I don't know. I don't know what needs to be done. I really don't. I mean, to a certain degree, the Elgin Community Church of God needs to die. The reason why I'm saying that is because, well, put it this way, maybe needs to die. Well, because it depends upon the pastor. If the pastor can have some time, like I've said in videos, that certainly if I was in charge for just a short time, if God wanted me to do that for a short time, I would say to the pastor and his wife, just take some time away. Don't do anything. Don't come in and do the worship. Don't come in and meet the people. Don't come in and do the preaching. Don't come in and do any of that. Come in for the services. Absolutely. Come in for the Bible study. Come in for the prayer meeting. But you're not going to lead it. Be involved, absolutely. But you're not leading. You're doing nothing of that sort of type. No leading in any way, shape or form for next month. Just focus on your relationships with God. And then, if he comes back at the end of the month and suddenly he's been, he's sorting himself out with God, he knows who he is, he knows who God is, and he's ready to start a new walk with God, great. Now it's the case of let's speak to God, let's search God, let's listen to what God has to say. Who does he want now running this church? And how does he want this church to be run? What does he want happening with this church now? Because then it's the case, after that month, then the church can start again. Then the church can start to go in a direction it's supposed to go in. Now, guarantee one thing, if I was given charge of that church, I'd say for a month, we're not going to do the online stuff anymore. We're going to come into the church on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We're going to do the Bible study in church. We're going to do the prayer meeting in church. In the prayer meeting, you're not going to bring your list of stuff. In the prayer meeting, we're going to start to learn how to listen to God. We're going to start to learn how to be led by God. In the Bible study, again, we're not going to have this point about the person leading it, going through scripture and saying, this is what I think it means. Or this is what the Bible college that I went to told me that this sort of thing means. Don't care about that. What is God saying? What does God want to say to the people right now? And what has God been saying to the people? So, what has God been saying during the week to the members who are actually at the Bible study? Has God been putting certain scriptures in their mind and blessing them with certain scriptures and blessing them with a new understanding of things? If so, okay, what's God been doing? In that group, what has God been doing? That's the point, isn't it? When it comes down to it, you've got to, it's got to all be about God. See, in the end, I couldn't care less. in any way, shape or form what people have to say. I couldn't care less about people wanting to bring scriptures or people wanting to bring because they just want to bring something. I don't care. That stuff doesn't matter. Leave it alone. It's time to start to mature. It's time to go from childish to maturity. That's the thing now. And so, will I make changes to the way things have been done? Yes. Yeah. But I personally, I would say, okay, Lord, what do you want me to do? Yeah. And I would seek the people in the membership. I would seek the people who are in a position where I could pray with them, where I could trust that maybe they'd be led by God as well. That maybe they've been being led by God in this situation. Siegfried is one that I would look at, because he was saying on Thursday something that I've been saying for the past 20 years, that you're not going to get revival until God sorts out the people. God's got to sort out the church first, because where are you going to bring people into? You're going to have this massive revival, bring people into a dead church that is not going to actually bring them to a relationship with Father. What's the point in that? Obviously the church has to be dealt with first. That's obvious. Not obvious to people like the pastor. He's looking for God to bring in this revival. He's talking about, God's going to bring people into the church. But no, he isn't. He's not. God's not going to do that until the church is sorted. Then God will start to bring people in. And people will come in massive numbers once the church is sorted. Because once the church is sorted, people will be driving past the church and be convicted of sin. They'll be coming in. God will start doing that, because God will be bringing them into something worth bringing them into. At the moment, that just isn't the case. No. So, that's got to change. And so, this church has to decide, do they want to be part of that? Now, the reason why I said this church may need to die, as it is right now, is because certainly the Albion Community Church of God may need to die, the name may need to go. Because if this pastor can't change his ways, can't let go of the power, then this church is going to say bye-bye to him and bye-bye to the name, because they can't be part of the Church of God organisation with him as overseer, because he will try probably to get his church back. Put it this way, if he can't accept that he's gone in the wrong way, that he's gone astray, if he can't accept that he's gone astray, then he'd be saying that the devil is the one responsible for trying to take his church, right? If he sees that, he'd be trying to get his church back. Because if he believes that God has been with him and that he's been serving God, he's going to believe that God wants him to fight against this. Right? Obviously. So, if you can't work with him, but he's still the overseer, then you've got to say, okay, we change the name. We come out of that organisation now. That could be a problem because the organisation basically has ownership of that building. But they were given the building. They didn't pay for it, they were given it by the previous church. So what they should now do is give the building to the people of the church for the next church that crops up in that position, which will be the same body, but just a different name. Because if the previous church gave the church to this church is still there, they're just not under the same people they were under before. So there you go. Again, that's up to God to work that out. Really. Yeah, and there may be some unpleasantries, happening around that time. Yeah, that's possible. Of course. Yeah, that's a possibility. Yeah. Exactly what needs to happen with regards to that, don't know. Time will tell. Indeed. What's going on with this car? Don't know. A bit dirty in places. Yeah. Anyway, there you go. I can't tell you any more because I don't know anymore. Yeah. I say there are a number of possibilities. It depends on what happens on Thursday. Very, very much so. It's up to them. But again, this video wasn't supposed to be about them really, but okay, it's gone that way again. Well, it's going to because, Thursday was only a few days ago and it was all about this Thursday coming. So this Thursday coming is still pretty important. So it's something I'm going to be speaking about until really this Thursday is over with. And probably until at least Sunday because, yeah, it could take a few days for things to be discovered as to what decisions were made there. Yeah, time will tell. Anyway, there you go. You take care, God bless. I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.